Dude, what the fuck is up, everyone? Happy May 21st, 2025 at the time of recording. Happy Gemini season to everybody globally. Woo, let me tell you, you are getting, if you are getting your reader at a time, it is extremely hard for me to button it up and be professional right now. But for that, me and Tennis right now, we were just talking about, it's like, ooh, it takes a lot during Gemini season to like do this shit for real. I just want to give some disclaimers. If I'm a little bit emotionally responsive in a way that might at all like distract from the overall message, please give me grace. I am super fixed, and so I have manifested a changeover in my menstruation cycle. Like I do spell work, and I really do like practical magic in a way that like also is very aligned with my body. So the Uranus Kazemi kind of slapped the bitches with the switch from the new moon lunar menstruation cycle to the full moon lunar lunation cycle. So now I'm on a new cycle, but it also just means I've had like this period situation in a not Taurus fucking Aquarius fucking fixed way. So I'm trying to rein in the fucking cattle and not go fucking bull mode on them. But just please bear with me. Happy fucking Gemini season. I'm very excited to be here. I'm going to keep it to the cards, to the spread, and to the messages. Because I think one thing that I realized, like with all of the iterations of filming that I've gone through thus far, so much of me just wanted to yap. Like I don't have a fucking friend in my life. Like I just wanted to like talk about all these like different changes that match like the fucking hormonal inflections that I'm feeling at this time. But best believe that the truth for me is that like my cycle is always when I'm most grounded. So I anticipate that this is going to be like such an impactful message. That's why it took so much. I'm so much happier because a 2-minute intro is better than what I was giving you girls. Like you don't understand like the readings that we were trying to do just a minute ago, really and truly, like when it was like I just needed my husband to like anchor me. We weren't like working outside of each other because he's like doing something really hard right now. It's like part of the fucking big brain of like running his labels, like going from artist to artist and like really honoring that we have like we go fast over here on this end, but like it needs to be that we like drop classic information. It needs to be that like every video that's like shared is like so worth the time, like especially in the paradigm that we're in. It's just like not the time to just be like doing shit. So we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. So again, just like if you can send us loving vibes, I'll already receive them because we're both working very hard. Dennis is working on album 45. He's already dropped like 4 in the last like week and a half. It's like a lot to do. I'm moving on a similar frequency and pace. So just be loving to the guys during Gemini season. The guys who love Gemini energy and are definitely in flow with it, like just be loving. So go ahead and see what our overall energy is. Gemini season. I think the best thing about this, I think the best thing about Gemini energy for me is that I like literally, it's like the time of the year specifically that I let myself like lights on, nobody's home. Like Gemini is the part of me that is like here to be a student of life. So in so many aspects, I show up as this sort of educator, or like, experienced travel guide, if you will, about how to fucking move through this astral realm. But often, like, my real disposition, if you knew me, what you do, I'm not gonna act like, oh, if you knew me, like, we know each other, what are you talking about? But my real disposition is often, like, really just student of life. And so Gemini season is that time where, like, I really honor, like, this is the time when I don't know shit. So we're going into this reading together. We're locked in. And I think people are, like, trying, like, I think right now the thing that I was, like, getting overwhelmed with is that, like, so many people would be like, oh, my God, Alexis, like, oh, my God, how are you feeling about all this shit that's happening? And, like, oh, my God, we see it. Like, all of it's true. Like, oh, my God, like, you're right. And I, like, feel like that's, like, like, oh, so the best thing that I can do is like segment intend. And right now, and that's so funny because the message for Gemini season is actually in the image of like what's happening to me right now. So me and Dennis just had to like rein it in because it was so much energy when we both sat down. It was like, oh shit, another album today, which is always like such a special time. But like we really are ceremonious with the shit. Like we really are like premiering, listening, creating, like publishing, like channeling. It's like happening so much and so sometimes when there's like too much energy and there's like a lot to talk about or a lot to do, like our Saturn process is like, shut up, because we need to like do the thing. And I just feel like the first opening energy for Gemini season of 2025, but also a collective energy, like this is also just like a timeless reading, is that at this time we are going into a 30-day cycle that has to do with your ability to remain self-disciplined through the eye of the storm. But this is different than the storm we had Aries season, Pisces season even of last year, Taurus season even of this year. Different storm, not apocalypto storm. How disciplined do you stay when the storm you have created with your star energy is actually working? Like, is actually happening, is actually propagating the results you want. All the elements of the shit that you've created at this point are actually showing up. Like, that's what we're dealing with right now. Again, this is very nervous system. This is very much like, do you have the self-soothing tactics ready to navigate this type of storm energy? You know, have you been doing that? Because again, one of the things that I was just talking about in my other readings, one of the things that I also think can help with this reading is, let me just set some things very clear. If you feel like you've only been in the year 2025 for like 2 months, you're correct. We have only technically gone through 2 zodiac signs for the Lord's year of 2025. So a lot of bitches are like, what the fuck? It's about to be June. We're 6 months into the year. I haven't done shit. Like, they always do this to you in the Gregorian calendar to like literally throw you off your cycle. You should be you should be just dipping your toe into 2025. Just dipping your toe. Like, by the time we get to summer, we just realize like what the fucking vibe of the year is going to be. So you should be coming into summer proper. You should be coming into summer calm. Like, you should be coming into summer like it's the second quarter, not the fucking third. You should be coming into summer like we have a lot of time. And so with this message, with this Gemini season, with the fact that it's going to be so, I think this year also really gave individuation for all of the signs. I think year 9 is going to do that. So Aries season was very much about the co-creation, the coming out, like burning. What is the passion? What is your drive? What is the thing you want? What is your real desire? Aries season. That was what happened all Aries season this year. Taurus season came and said, okay, great desire. Love that. It aligns you and magnetizes you to receiving that desire. So like Aries season is put out your real desire. What do you really want? Taurus season of this year said, great. Now that you put out what you really want, you need to be able to receive mirrors of that. So all Taurus season from top to bottom, if you were really in alignment with the ship, you should have been receiving back that fucking gusto ass Aries desire you had the audacity to fucking put out there. Aries season. Gemini season is when it gets turned uppy. Now that we've realized we can give and receive, baby, it's about to be kiki all motherfucking summer, bitch. It's about to be fucking crazy. Because Gemini season is, again, Gemini season for me, if I wanted to talk about my personal cycles, Gemini season is the time that I come into. If you get to deal with me during Gemini season, which is part of the reason why I felt the need to come over and give a astrological overview, because I'm really like leaning into the fact that this is my day job, for real. And that at this point, there is no need to kind of keep going. Like, I may be out of my healing journey, but I have the authority to like speak on the energetics of right now. So that's where we're at in the iteration of the Virgo Saint series. And again, we keep going through once in a lifetime shit, once in a lifetime configurations. Maybe I'll stop fucking doing astrological archives when we stop fucking having crazy astrology. Talk to God about that. So right now, you know, Gemini season for me has always been, it literally, like, I met my soulmate in Gemini season. On June 18th, 2017 is the best, changed the fucking, shattered my fucking paradigm, you know? The day that I met my husband, because we didn't just meet, we like planned to meet IRL, and we planned to fucking cosmically come into one another. And baby boy did we, you know, and we're still here 8 years later proper. So I'm getting really excited about all of those things. But for me, this Gemini season really rings true that we're done with another like 8-year cycle, right? So it is that time for me where like, if you're dealing with me in proximity, like when I say like lights on, nobody's home for Gemini seasons, because I'm going to let myself during Gemini season be a student of life, which is, it's the one season throughout the year. And maybe this is good advice because I'm a Gemini rising. So take my fucking advice for how you should live this fucking Gemini season. Gemini doesn't do proper when it's dealing with non-self-acceptance. So Gemini season should be the year that you have accepted yourself, because you've gone through Aries and Taurus, right? You've talked about what you can give. You've talked about what you're willing to receive from an identity of who you are. By the third zodiac sign, by the time it's time to go to the third house, you're now going to get to connect to the community, because you have a sense of self. You have your identity and you have the value of that identity from Aries and Taurus. Gemini says now it's time to come into community of like-minded people. So when I go into a Gemini season, this would be my advice to you. Hold the disposition that I am entering a season of my life where I am no longer at the boundary of like self-acceptance. This means if every other motherfucking zodiacal series, year, whatever, season, whatever that you experience in your life, you allow yourself to navigate like being an outsider, like, oh, these people may or may not like me, I don't know, because there's a different version of you that's trying to be accepted versus how you're going to act around squad and gang, right? And so for me, Gemini season, you're not going to hear from me if you're not team. You're not going to hear from me if it's not soul level connection, because I'm looking for in Gemini season the slimes that the fucking connection goes to the ocean floor with this shit. Because we're not doing too much talking during Gemini season. We're actually pouring the drinks in the lagers all Gemini season for sure. Every time. We're actually ripping and running and being fucking industrious and creating a sense of community. And so it isn't actually the time where we're talking the most about your in-depth journey through ascension. It isn't actually the fucking time when, you know, me and Dennis, when we first met, if we're meeting in Gemini season, like what we did in the Gemini season is going to be a little more debaucherous than what we're going to fucking do in like Virgo season or some shit, right? When we're really trying to fucking analyze our connection. Gemini season is not that time. Gemini season is a vibe. Gemini season is like, yeah, I got the Addy through the wind. I'm pulling up. Like I'm going to the function. It's that kind of frequency. And so when I hear with this opening message of Gemini season, self-discipline, it's different than when God asks you to be self-disciplined during Taurus season, right? Or when they ask you to be disciplined during Aries season. It's going to be different in Gemini season because Geminis need you to be self-disciplined because Geminis refuse to hold your weight. So this is the type of guidance from spirit that's like, you're going to want to be self-disciplined at this time as it pertains to like running yourself, because now you're entering the ring where other people who are also responsible for disciplining themselves. Because here's the thing, you're coming into so much newness in terms of soulmate connections right now. Is what's happening. Like everybody's the cat's out of the bag. Oh my God, we all agreed, like we're gonna do it. We're really gonna do it. We're gonna honor the soul. Okay, great. So, but what that requires now going into Gemini season is it's like not an option. Like Aries, Taurus, super personal. You got to wrap it up. You got to finish out the retrogrades. You got to be sweet. Now that we don't have technically any real planets, I mean, Pluto is no longer a planet in our solar system. So now that we don't have any planets that are actually retrograde at this time, it should still be gunning all, you know, all systems are a go in terms of our celestial bodies, like feeling like they're like, you know what I mean, on the beat. So, right, exactly what they said. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear the bird frequencies now that I have the headphones on, but anywho. So, the best news that we have at the beginning of this is like, you're about to be in the middle of the stormy that you created with all of your alchemical magic from Aries to Taurus in this new year. It's beautiful. All of the long-term goals of the last 8-year cycle, right? Or the last 13-year cycle or the last 20-year cycle, whatever cycle that you're like feeling, there's so many cycles that are like overlapping and closing. It's like a very big new beginning. We're entering a new age. We're leaving an old age. Like there's so much happening at this time that I think this is a pretty universal. Like you are going to be called during the season, I'm hearing from Spirit, to step in. This is the type of self-discipline where it's like, okay, you know, when you're like, like when you're at a function, you're about to go out and have a very long night, or, you know, I'm really getting Gemini season. You know what the best example of what I'm actually getting right now? So shout out to the guys, shout out to the raver community, like the actual raver community. Gemini season is that's what it's like what I'm actually getting right now. So when it comes to raves, there's a level of, okay, if you're like actually like in the trippy hippie community, like if you were like me and Dennis, like if you were asking us like what we were like in high school, we're like trippers. Like we were like a part of the like trippy hippie community, right? Like the kids who were like, should we do shrooms right now? Yeah, okay. So that was like our vibe, right? Tie-dye, fucking smoking, skating, and right? Okay. So for us, psychedelics, you know, acid, fucking whatever, like these sort of substances that like support this sort of consciousness expansion, right? Like when you're going to have ceremony, when you're going to something like a rave specifically, or you're like going to like I'm just getting like, okay, they were just like showing me the rave community to Gemini because it's like the best way that I can explain to you what kind of self-discipline Spirit's talking about. So if you were to ever like go to a festival with your gang of fucking trippers and it's like, all right, everybody, like we're all going to take some acid and then we're going to like, you know, there's so much that preparation and self-discipline you need to be in, because when you start doing group drugs with the guys, it's like, there's a different thing that checks in, because like if you're all adults in the situation, it's like, look, I don't know what your limits are. You don't know what my limits are. I can't babysit you nor police you through this night if we all want to have a good experience. Like if I want to be able to have my trip and like not feel like I have to be responsible for other people, which is huge, you know, then what the kind of unspoken code between like any like rave covenant, like just using like the raving community, like the dance community is like it's like just the most like, they're just really telling me to talk about that. Like, if you're going into that, like, experience, which maybe that's just, like, the big-ass spirit message, where it's, like, a lot of indoctrination this summer with a lot of, like, group ceremonial, like, we just did this substance together, and it, like, opened. I feel like, because there's so many people that, like, are fated and destined to come into it this time, so it's, like, relationships that are starting at Gemini season that are new, completely new, but they're also new because people are arriving at new places in themselves. So this would be like, oh my God, like I didn't just come into like new friends, but they're like in a different tax bracket, or we're all in a different tax bracket, or we're all having some sort of like, you know, whatever. So it's like new identities also with these connections you're making. But I have a feeling that like, and this would be a very real summer vibe. Like you heard it here first, like Gemini season. I think a lot of people that are on this soulmate experience are about to initiate it by doing like group ceremonious consciousness expansion things. I'm not even going to say it's like substance based. I'm not even going to say whatever. I'm going to say you have to take a drug or whatever. But it's like the type of thing where it's like, all right, like I got invited to this yacht party. You know, we about to turn up. But like at the turn up, it's like there's a level of like, you do need to be like disciplined in yourself. It's also kind of like, you know, the guidance for Gemini season is like, really think about what you're going to be doing Divine Masculine season. Or you can already see these temps out in Texas, bitch. It's 100 motherfucking degrees every day. We ain't even out. We ain't even done with May. So if you really know realistically, like for example, like I said over the weekend, like we, you know, I had to film a movie over the weekend and it was so beautiful and so fun. But it's like, yeah, we were in Texas and it's like, you know, being prepared, like not like being like self-disciplined throughout the year. And then also like being really connected to my self-discipline right now helps me because like I said, like when it's so hot that you really can't wear too much and like say you're not self-disciplined to where you don't have love for like the way you maintain your vessel. So like when you have to show more of your vessel to stay cool, literally, like you can't like cover up. It's like that, right? Or like I said, when you're just like with a big group of people and you're like trying to like work on deep connections, I just have a feeling that if you're not self-disciplined, this is like a big PSA. If you have not done your self-discipline work, you're about to go into these huge group, like these are for everyone. This is like your new community because everyone we just went through the fucking death of it, right? Whatever just had to collapse. Like a lot of us can't be in these relationships anymore. We can't be doing this. Or we stayed in the old world and we like deeply committed to these old things. And so now it just means that like your whole shit is not, we're losing it. So you're now going to the group of people that are associated with you. I am not saying, could be any vibration. This could be any type of person. And so now that we are all collectively reacquainting ourselves with who actually matches our current vibration, right? So this is a lot of mourning as well. This is like pre-Gemini season shit though. The mourning and all that stuff, like what? Like, because I'm telling you, there was some crazy polarity in news that me and Dennis got as soon as Gemini season hit that I was like, damn, like niggas are like set into certain timelines that they can't come out of now because of like decisions they just like karma that they looped. Like certain people are not looping karma at this time. So we're like, now you and them will never... we might as well mourn that we're not going to come together anymore because we're just like what we chose. We couldn't even lock in. Like you couldn't even stay locked in with your higher twin flame, your soul contracts to like actually meet up. Like you didn't make it to the meetup. So now you're about to go meet up with different people. These are messages that I'm like telling you are happening. Like even with what you saw with my mom, that was someone who was like always been very much synced up like as a part of like my destiny. And I would have always regarded that. But choices that she had made, let's just say, in terms of who she wanted to be associated with and like who mirrors her. Sorry, another fucking cocky. It's just a Coke. But, you know, it's like I just want to let you guys know that. Like, you guys are now coming into the, like, and I think that's what's going to be funny about Gemini season. I think all the air seasons for the duration of 2025 are going to, and it's funny that Spirit's, like, showing me rave culture. They're showing me, like, the things that I'm just telling you this. I'm not saying that this is your personality. Like I said, like not all of you girls are like are shroom girlies. Not all of you like psychedelics. Not all of you like hallucinogens. Like none of you, you know, whatever. But they're just showing me that that's the kind of like you're about to like deep dive into what is now on your plate because these are the players that are going to be in the next cycle for you. And it's a big cycle too because a lot of these new cycles are like 160 year cycles, right? Like say once in a lifetime cycles, right? So it's just funny that I was just saying about like air sign seasons for the remainder of 2025. This is the first air sign season that we've been getting. I've been getting that air sign seasons are sobering in attitude, not in practice, but like in attitude. Like, I think there's also going to be a lot of people reckoning right now that like Gemini season like knocked on their door and now they just get the shit of the community that they picked. Or maybe they don't even realize they picked it, but they picked it through their action. They picked it through their vibration, which is what I was trying to tell you girls. So I think a lot of people think that like who's in your life is based on like, I went up to that person and like I started some shit. And that's a lot of people, right? A lot of people move from that level of like toxic masculinity, like thinking that actually like the people that come in your life are like the people you go get. So now that we're back on that vibration and that resonance, I think that's what's going to be sobering about all the checkpoints of the air season. So like Gemini season, Libra season, and Aquarius season of 2025 are going to be crazy because to me, I think they're just going to like really like sober people up to be like, damn, I'm really getting this, aren't I? Like, I think story, like, again, I told you the Scorpio full moon was horrendous because it made physical with the Taurus Scorpio axis what I believe the eclipse at the end of March, like the Aries eclipse, like actually was doing. Like actually already did. Like remember I told you like they missed the eclipse on the 31st and like they just like didn't realize like everybody's onto you. Like nobody like you're not hiding. Like your abuse is not hidden. So I feel like the Scorpio full moon like all the evidence is on the table now. So like whatever like deception like can't be like deceptive anymore. About people, about relationships, about, you know, our motivations for why we attach ourselves to certain environments, right? And so it's a huge download 20 minutes in, but it's like the self-discipline that it's going to take for us at this time. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to brace you. Everyone who can get this message right now, you're about to come into your new body of people that you vibrate with. And I don't really have the need to tell you that it's all going to be peaches and cream. I can teach from my experience. For me, I'm about to come into a lot of guys in the way that God's Spirit showing me is like, just make sure that you're on your self-discipline because like you're going to be in group hangouts where like, let's say like we're all going to take shrooms and we're all going to go do something really fucking fun and liberating together. And that is amazing. But you know, you're in like, you know, you're starting this. These people don't have karma with you yet. You're creating new karma. So like the only thing that would really be detrimental is if you don't have self-discipline, right? You get around and I want to really reiterate that because I think these relationships are going to be very overwhelming because of the nature. Like I said, these sobering air sign seasons are going to be our checkpoint because we kind of need that like dryness to like because I just think there's going to be so much nervous system shit going on. Like, you know, when the solar flares really happen, you know, in our geo-electromagnetic field, like anytime you can get a heads up on a solar flare, it's important because like solar flares like really affect people's nervous systems. It's like, I mean, imagine being like Patrick Star fucking drying out on the fucking beach in the sun, like, but also like being anxious. Like it's like heat and anxiety. So I feel like that's the word. It's like the heat from some of these connections, like could cause a neurological response, like heat and anxiety, like these, like, because it could be for any pole. It could be that like, oh my God, I've ascended my vibration. Now I'm rolling with different vibrations of people altogether, but it could overwhelm me because maybe I just came from the experience in my last cycle, which was like not this tier of individuals because I wasn't this tier vibration. So now I have to maintain my vibration and I'm really just getting like the hygiene of your spirit, like keeping that is like the only thing that anyone needs to worry about. Just make sure that in Gemini season, you're not putting, because we're all different. Like I'm getting that like you're coming into soul contracts, but like you all have different karma. So like the same way that like my husband's karma is not the same as mine. Like I have like poverty conscious wounds that I have to like keep in check that like my husband doesn't necessarily have to deal with because like he doesn't have the same karma as me in terms of like the second house. So when I'm in the club and when I'm around the guys or when I'm in this new cycle, it might be really important for me to not bring my brokey mentality. Like that might be something that Alexis needs to stay disciplined in. It's like, Alexis, don't forget, you're not broke, you're not fucking homeless, you're not a poor bitch. Like don't go up in these new rooms like with those ideologies. Stay disciplined and remember what's going on for you because it's not like, it's just like even my husband who knows me deeper than anyone else, like he's not gonna be able to be responsible for like what I need because I'm just letting you know even though these are beautiful things because they're the next, this is basically the resources you need for the next cycle. Like that's a beautiful thing. It's coming as a storm. So these are all the elements coming together to create a new energy, to create a new experience on this planet. So huge 20-minute fucking Gemini season download. And I'm so proud because it's like such a beautiful message. So that's the first message, is just up the foresight that I can see. A lot of soul contracts being initiated in this new cycle. Congratulations to you for whatever you're manifesting and whoever's in it, because they really reflect you. Like, that's the other thing. That's what I think is really sobering about these air sign seasons this year, is the stuff you'll be doing during the air sign seasons. It's like the karma of Libra is there. So it's like Libra's like, and just know you deserve this. You know, if you inherited a new cycle of bums, you deserved it. Because these are things that, like I said, remember when God was like, who do you want on your boat? Who do you want traveling with you? Like, really be diligent about that. Don't just think that I'm like holding back your blessings. What the fuck? Why would the universe hold back our blessings? They're not. They're like, baby, you're not the version of you that can hold it. Like, right? So when God was telling you to take your time with this shit, that is why. The whole self-discipline, if you really were disciplining yourself, like really changing, really getting over your triggers, it was for a reason, because I think you've been staring at the prize this whole time. You've been staring at like what it's going to be this whole time. You're like, oh, it's these people that it's going to be, right? You know what I mean? Like for me at the studio, like I'm so excited for the revelation of like everyone who's been able to privately heal from the studio, because that's like what I designed it for. Like the people that actually like watch my personal archiving back, what I wanted to do was like make better friends. Like I'm a friend ass bitch. Like I love a huge community, but I left this trail so that people also had the proper amount of reflection time that I give myself. Because like one thing that won't allow us to be friends is like if I'm at a different consciousness, like I can't do the sacrifice time and I can't do it anymore. So like if I'm like spending more time reflecting on like just on average than someone else that really wants to be friends with me, it doesn't even matter like how cool this person might be. Like I won't be able to do it just because like you've got to be able to like match the frequency. Like I spend a lot of time reflecting on like the and putting intention into like what I'm doing, because like the default shit is not lit. Like we're not like I'm not fucking hands-free driving, babe. I'm not letting the fucking default nothing do anything with my shit, because that shit was not gonna lead me to success. Like the shit that I inherited from my karma and the earth, like no. So that is like really truly the biggest message I could say. Whoo, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Be disciplined, because I also think in a world where the water was restricted, age of Pisces, right? The control was in the control of the water. Aquarius is about to change the weather. Like it's about to change. Like Pisces, the worst part about it is that it controlled our water source. So niggas were dying for real. Niggas were poor for real. If you can control the water, you can make poor people. You can. You literally can. That's actually like what they're really classifying like in the capitalist like structure in society. Like poor people are like the people who don't have access to like water, straight up. Like the control of water, straight up. Straight up. So anyways, so I just feel like now that we're out of the age of Pisces and like that isn't where abuse of power is happening, and it's switching to more of an intellectual space. So like in the age of the Aquarian, the people with the power are like actually the most conscious, wind energy. Now we're getting this replenishment of the water. Like there's like this control. So all this water is like all the inner peace that you actually cultivated, which is why I just feel like that initial like gist of like these people are about to water the fuck out of you. Like water the fuck out of you. Like bring you to inner peace in a way that's like fucking insane. Like actually fucking insane. Holy shit. It's exactly what I said. Gemini season, we are literally manifesting light. The light that you fucking intended, that you created Aries season. Like, we're manifesting light by, like, actually internally. Oh, okay. Anyways, we're manifesting light that we generated from within. So, like, now, because this is what God's intention was. Light, we're all little flames, right? We're all little fucking, where's my fucking lighter, bro? We're all little bicks in this bitch. Fucking one single flame. That's each of us. Like, that's Aries season, right? But when we come together, like when what's about to happen Gemini season, like when we get together and we actually like congregate. So now you and your soul tribe, which are a bunch of flames, come together. Now there's a light source on the ground. And I feel like that's the point. Like that's what this is. Like this is because I think a lot of people, and again, age of Pisces, which was so individualist instead of collectivist, like it was so about, you know, the one person who ran upstream and had a success story. We just like only control like media narratives by talking about the same thing over and over again, as if there aren't like billions of success stories happening all the time in the now moment. So then we didn't realize where there wasn't a lot of light on the planet. Well, because we over prioritize just individual lights, when actually individual lights are meant to actually like come into union with other fucking mirrored lights so that we can actually do something way bigger. They're showing me fucking Bob Dylan in their when they do the fucking We Are the World. Like, remember they used to do like the celebrity fucking sing-along to like raise money for fucking ALS or some I don't even know. Like, whatever type of like camp, like that type of thing. Like, it would be one thing to be fucking, again, this is Bob Dylan. It'd be one thing to be Bob Dylan. It'd be another thing to get to unify every nigga out of Greenwich like together and like do some shit all together. And I just feel like that's what this Gemini season's really going to do. Again, for the lower time limit, I'm also going to read and humble some of you guys just so we can understand, because you can be anywhere in this. This could also mean like you spent Aries season, your fucking light is dim as shit. It went through a fucking musty ass Taurus season of you getting very little because you give yourself very little. Now you're coming into Gemini season and it's you and a bunch of dusty niggas, because I believe we're no longer going to be outsourcing. Okay, so like Rahu, sun energy, I feel like is now in us. You should have been taking the last 5 years since 2020. The whole upgrade was that now it's inside of you. You were supposed to be outside as much to get the neutrinos from the outside environment. So now you can be your literal own source. And so when it's time for an Aries season to come around, when we're identifying ourselves as a flame, your flame is fucking strong as shit. And so that strong as shit flame goes into Taurus season. Now it has a lot of value if it's a really big fucking fire that can stay warm and you know how to keep it warm. Like, again, Aries season is like the fucking dragon dance episode of fucking Avatar, where it's like, you got to make it up this mountain, keep this little baby flame fucking lit. That's what Aries season is. You can't let it die out. You're learning how to cultivate that fire. You're even identifying yourself as that. So again, I just think that in the previous cycle, so many people wanted us to go for this individualistic, like, oh, the best thing for me to do is like murder everyone else so no one else's flame exists, so that mine is the only flame. And we're moving from an environment where we need or idolize people as like the only flame, to realizing it's actually important for all of us to keep the best and brightest flame we can and have the best relationship with fire that we can, because that's our primordial form. And when we do that, the actual motif is that like then you should be able, the real game is like fire matching, like whose shit is as big as my shit. And that's what we're coming into Gemini season. You already found out Taurus season whose shit is burning as bright as your shit burns. Now y'all are linking and building, linking and building, linking and building, linking and building, linking and building. But I feel like you need self-discipline during this link and build season. This 30 days is about to be crazy. Because again, we went through accepting all the things you prayed for. You have to accept that, like, again, and I think a lot of people are dealing with this. A lot of people, when they're in unconscious cycles, they're in toxic cycles, they're in all this bullshit cycles. Some of them were praying. Like I said, my mom was praying I was in a homeless shelter. So I guess that's the reality she's living out now, because now she has no idea where the fuck I am. And it's probably where she thinks, in a homeless shelter, right? It's going to be whatever she believes. So things like that, right? You know, or you've been with your bummy ass partner because you can't make any fucking internal changes. And I just wouldn't be excited for your Gemini season, because guess what you're about to start manifesting? Like, I mean, this is scary. This is also crazy because like we recently also, we don't even fucking care anymore because we feel betrayed about it. But one of our like, not anymore, but like one of our like the artists that like helped me and Dennis like identify, like it's such like a specific artist that you like actually, if you engage with them, you know, when you were growing up, like one of those artists has had the biggest fucking most horrific demonic fall off of all time, which kind of just like disillusioned that like he really wasn't ever really shit. And if you actually look at the discography, it's like, you don't want your day job, buddy, which is very different than like the type of artist that Dennis and I are. We're like not the type of artist that like, whatever, we're not going to get into like what their zodiacal makeup is, but Pisces, anyways. But they had like a really like devastating, like just like the kind of fall off that like proves the type of person they really are and like what they actually like create in the world. And it's just like really heavy when you like attributed them to like a spiritual part of your journey. Like perhaps they seem like the most conscious person at the time. So like Dennis and I were like dealing with that the other day. But the real thing about this artist that we just saw is like, yeah, this nigga's definitely manifesting light. But it's not that I like I said, I just, when you see people who have fallen into, who are not curse breakers, actually. Because I think that's the thing that I was dealing with. Like, you know, curse breaking is not just making money. Curse breaking is not just people knowing your name. Curse breaking is one thing. It's breaking a curse. And you've either done that for your lineage or you haven't. And one thing that I am realizing is like, if you are a curse breaker, baby, you don't even want it. Why the fuck would you want to be around a shackled bitch? You don't. You wouldn't. Like, you only want to be around people who have the courage you have. And so I'm not even going to throw shade on this artist that heavy. And if you feel like this shoe fits right now, I love that. That's the Gemini lore. It's like, who is it? Who is she talking about? You'll never know. But no, this artist fell the fuck off. And so if you haven't fallen the fuck off, like, it's not you. Keep scrolling. But this artist fell the fuck off, and they were, like, really foundational for their work, and their essence was once really foundational for Dennis and I. But they were the one that brought us into Gemini season with this news of, like, what the fuck? Like, that's what they're... No, not a good thing. And, yeah. But even in their polarity, like, it does check out. Like, the psychic download I'm getting right now does check out. Because I'm looking at people from, like, very low vibrations. And this is still what's happening. Like I said, yeah, the little bitches, the crew that you fucking swore you wanted to lock in with, this is, like, the lock-in of all lock-ins. Like... Literally like a grade school fucking lock-in type of shit. Like, that's what they're showing me. They're showing me raves. They're showing me like a school lock-in. Like, what the fucking kind of debauchery that goes down when you get to be in the big gym at fucking midnight with the guys. Like, with the faculty and the guys. It's like, they're showing me like so much like initiation. Like shit that makes you like bond with, like experiences all Gemini season that allow you to bond with people deeply. Maybe even come out of your skin, you know? Maybe even experience like a first together to like cement the bond. A lot of linking and building. And right now, the divide, like I said, like if you didn't break, like for me, like I said, I'm really on the curse breaker shit. Like I'm really not here doing, you know, I'm not with the cognitive dissonance. I'm not like, I want to be known for being a curse breaker. I want to be known, like if you bitches are going to fucking celebrate me for anything without actually personally like knowing my real energy, I want it to be for some reason. And the reason isn't because I stole your consciousness, but it's because like we can applaud Alexis and Dennis. They fucking broke the curse. More people actually stopping the fucking heinous, ludicrous shit that their ancestry has done and choosing to create in the now instead of fucking living in the past and wasting the now moment. Those are the guys that you should be fucking celebrating because they actually are helping you, right? The more people that we walk around that aren't living in the bigoted, narcissistic, first dimensional paradigm of the fucking Matrix reality, the more people that are out of that shit, the less fucking systemic shit you come into at an individual level, the less that it actually perpetuates at a larger level, and the more inspiration to make that jump that we're all going to inevitably have to make, or we're going to collapse with the shit that's collapsing. And I just need to tell you, I really feel like this reading checks out, because like in the recent past, you had to accept that. I think if this is hard, because some of y'all were going to like prayer, like the way that you send up to your highest power, like what you want next, like you were actually manifesting some crazy dumb shit, dumb and crazy shit. And I think the dumb and crazy shit, when it's time to link and build with you and your dumb and crazy fucking stupid ass community, expect the fucking tour of fucking dumb and crazy stupid shit. So this is that time. Gemini season is going to bring that fresh air where it's like, if you felt like you had to make action in hell, like if you felt like specifically Taurus season, there came a lot of endings you did have to also make because you knew it was like, okay, I cannot align with this. This relationship has shown evidence under this Taurus Scorpio axis in the last 30 days of when I'm filming this, but also just in general, like when the last 30 days before you're watching this, the universe would have put concretized evidence in your fucking face that says you can't just be passive. What are you choosing on this? Yes, no, this resonates, this doesn't. I want a future with this or I don't. There's no more of this. I'm in the contract with it or I can't say no or I just have too much fear to like break out. None of that, because that's still a choice. Whether you have a fear about making a change or not, if you ultimately in the eyes of source, if you don't make a certain change, you are repeating the same genetic coding over and over and over and over again. So I want to really congratulate individuals at this time because you were asked to make a different choice. You were asked to embody, right? Taurus season, you should have been willing to receive, but your masculine should have known where to be giving. It should have been listening to your divine feminine and believing what the divine feminine was telling them was the way forward. It should have been like, you know what? And your divine masculine needs to listen to your internal divine feminine, which could have been mirrored outside of you. Absolutely, right? It could have been mirrored outside of you. This guidance that was like, you need to go this way for you. Because when we talk about what your fucking energy actually is, and these guys, right? Like, it's not about calling any one thing anything. You don't have the right to label anything as any one thing. And even my ops aren't even like, that's not what they were born here to be. I wish they would be something other than a fucking op, let's be real. But you weren't born an op. You're my op, but that's not what your identity is. And so so much of what I've been urging. I gave y'all April. I gave y'all May. I've been fucking screaming at the fucking top of my lungs. I'm like, do not put off the shit that God is asking you to do. Do not do that. I told you bitches that in April. Top of April, I was going through proper crazy shit, bro. Went through it all for 60 more days. I'm still in the fucking shit. But I am feeling the giant, breath that right now really gets to be, because that hot potato action, like, oh shit, I can't. These people are showing their fucking ass in their hand right now. You know what I mean? I had to let my mom know, I do not think like you think. I would never do this to someone that I fucking swear is family to me. I wouldn't do somebody the way you're doing me. So I had to make a choice, because just being passive and staying connected to these people would say something about my character that was untrue, because now I'm acting in a certain way that is untrue. So the action was telling you a storm is coming, and the storm isn't negative. The storm is the one you're going to create. But I think people don't realize, they're still not aware you're the creator of your reality. You're over here doing shit for other people, trying to create for them, not realizing this doesn't have shit to do with shit. And at the end of the day, you're still here to fucking make sure. So I know how, like, people don't even just like me yapping. Like, people want me to stay true to the proper forecast shit, because I'm the best at it. Like, I swear to God, like, these, like, astrology, like, you can get, like, a proper astrology, no question, right? But a lot of the guys, they wait, and they be, oh, by the way, like, palindrome today. Oh, by the way, eclipse today. And I really want people to, like, be in the energetics of, like, what is the request of our higher self? You know what I mean? What is the, like, that's it. Like, I'm not even here to tell you how a planetary move is supposed to make something happen for you. I'm just telling you, this is the reason why we do constant maintenance. Constant maintenance. It never stops. We're not just like a tuning one time. That's why I'm giving myself the right to be here season after season at the moons that I feel like call me forward. That I let myself do it, because I realized I'm not in I am healing myself past certain wounds, and I have met the wholeness of, like, I don't need any more further on certain past wounds. Like, I've healed certain things. But the maintenance of my life is where this has evolved to, and Virgo saint is a good thing, And it's as good as being able to go outside and, like, tell that it's going to rain today. It's, like, as helpful as that. And so I'm so glad that, my husband and I are in this era right now where we realize, like, a lot of what we do helps with the climate of the now. And there's so few resources that really support the climate of the now, in the now, before the now, like, to actually give you, like, real heads up, because I'm telling you, this is so crazy. So in the near future, Gemini season builds these first fucking 4 zodiac signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, all about the development of the inner child. Like, the fucking, that is what we're in at this point in the year, right? And I think it took courage to allow your inner child to evolve into what you are now. So I'm assuming, I don't make my videos for kids. They're not for, like, people under 18, because No. But for every adult that views this work, the version of you that's standing here right now is an evolution on your inner child, whether you want to accept that or not, right? It's an evolution of your inner child. Now, have you completely abandoned that child, abused that child just like your abusers did you, and left that nigga for dead, and become something that has nothing to do with any of the things that it came here as the stem of, the blueprint of? Because I believe Gemini season, there is a population of people who really mirror me, right? Like, I'm going to read for us. Like, I'm not always going to just, like, read for the bums. I don't have to do that. But for us, for a team, for a gangski, we have come into this evolution of our inner child, meaning our inner child had imagination. But Gemini season is like, all that courage you did, Aries and Taurus, has now, like, my inner child always wanted to be a director. Yeah. Director of everything. Director and public speaker. I was like, she was wanting to, yep. Yeah, that's what she wanted to be, right? I think my first film camp was like 2004. Yeah, my first movie was made in 2004. That's what it was. It's on VHS. We have it. It's called The Magic Nickel. So that's how long my inner child has been wanting to do this. Through this cycle, through this time, I have allowed my inner child to evolve. You're literally, like, I look exactly like I fucking did when I popped out of the fucking cooter. Are you kidding me right now? I do. So that type of inner child preservation, where I can be a grown-ass woman, grown and sexy, yeah, absolutely. But I'm a fucking child. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm a child of the Most High. Fucking step off, bro. The fuck are you talking? Get away from me. Type of shit. I'm not with that shit, But it has so much to do with the ability that I've allowed my inner child to go through this sort of evolutionary process. The ability that I've allowed my inner child to realize that, like, you can be more than just the imagination landscape. Now I'm embodied. So, we had prayers, but now like I said, so for the guys who are on the lowest timeline, if your inner child is somewhere in fucking hell, that has only evolved into worse. And that's what I'm saying. Like, some of the reasons that I actually archive the shit that I archive is because, like, some of y'all are missing it, and sometimes you're just not going to get back universal support to, like, make certain changes. So you always have the right to change your life at any moment. I just want you to know it could be expeditiously harder with certain, like, angulations in the sky. It could be expeditiously harder when everything planetarily is not flowing in that direction, and maybe you really need to make a change that now is not in alignment with the seasons. This is why I tell you to reattune to Mama Gaia. I tell you bitches to do that shit for real. I tell you bitches to do that for real. I already told my team. My team already knows what it is. They've already been making proper arrangement. They've been slowly transitioning plant-based. They've been doing the things proper. They have. They've been walking as many miles as me now. I know that because look at a good bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even be changing. Like, bitch, I don't even be having to change fucking. I only got like 2 pairs of clothes. I don't even have any fucking clothes anymore, real for real. I be in the same shit every time I come on this goddamn broadcast because it doesn't fucking matter, bro. Because the soul is so, like, the makeup of the soul is different, when you take care of it, when you do things proper, when you let the nature fucking revitalize and fucking heal you, like it was meant to do. So, it could be a scary time this Gemini season because, like I said, you're manifesting light with the bums and bitches if you are a bum and a bitch for real. But also, there's no one to call a bum and a bitch. Like, you're not going to be in an association that's not you. So, like I said, if you get corralled into if it's you and all your homeboys, everybody knows you're, like, abusers, you know what I mean? So I said, like, the air sign seasons are going to be fucking humbling because it has nothing to do with money anymore, and it has nothing to do with achievement anymore. It has to actually do with, like, character now, right? And this is funny, too, because we were talking about me and Dennis were talking about MLK. Dennis is, like, has really bad, like, childhood trauma from, like, the movie, like, My Friend Martin. Because, like, Atlanta public schools are, like, fucking traumatizing the guys, like, proper with the MLK propaganda. So, anyways, we were just talking about MLK. But, and it's funny because I feel like we're talking about this Gemini season, like, stuff becoming, like, prayer manifest, right? What you prayed on. And so one of MLK's obvious, like, the most classic prayer is that, like, I pray that, like, my children can be judged by the contents of their character and not the color of their skin. He was talking about a transition to the spiritual. He was talking about a transition from the third dimension to the physical, because we know we're niggers in real life. We get that, right? We get that that's what you bitches are on. And I guess you're right about that. I guess all of our skin is fucking black. But MLK was really trying, this man's a preacher, but he's really prophesying. He's trying to talk about, like, there will be a transition to the invisible realm, right? Because character is invisible. And so right now, everybody's feeling it, you know what I mean? And this is why God was asking some of you, like, especially, like, again, I just, like, let everybody have their space, especially people like my soul tribe that I'm supposed to come into contact with, because, like, I know I need my space, because, like, some of the stuff that I was asked to, like, walk away from, it did take a lot for me to, not to walk away, like, the action of walking away, but it's, like, there's a lot of auditing to do when, like, there's revelations of people's true character, right? Because I think before we weren't necessarily just going off of the character byline. Like, we weren't just going off of character in the age of Pisces. We were going off of a lot of things. Your money could, if you're a shitty guy in practice, your money being long and fat, like, could, he beat the shit out of his girlfriend, but, like, he's really got a lot of money. That doesn't do anything anymore. Like, because your money is connected to the fact that you hit people and the fact that you suck ass, right? All of it's connected now. It's not, like, any different. So that's what I mean with these air sign energies, the age of the Aquarius. We could be moving into, like, a wind element. Like, the self-discipline is going to be, like, on display right now, because your self-discipline deeply connects to the way that you treat yourself. The most people's concept of self, whether they love it or hate it, is actually rooted in their understanding of their inner child, and whether that child is liberated or whether it's fucked up. So I think, there's going to be a lot of acceptance that has to go around at this time, because, like I said, everything goes back to, again, the character, which is an invisible force. I told you bitches to start fucking dealing with intangibles. Start fucking viewing success as intangible things. Like fucking inner peace. Because right now, I'm so at peace right now. Like, the fire that's blazing, like, you should be, like, on fire right now and being peaceful. That means you've reclaimed your sacred flame. It's huge. Like, I got really good at fucking stoking my shit all the last 60 days. And so did my team. So did my guys. Like, I feel like right now my guys are just, like, blazing hot with the same frequency as me. We're in completely separate lanes in a lot of ways, but it's, like, ready for a proper communion. So I'm very fortunate at this time, but I do feel like, you know, everyone, regardless of vibration at this time, before, like, during this Gemini season, should be walking into what I think they were making choices off of was, like, how to be at inner peace. And this is funny because when your goal is peace instead of balance, like, I think a lot of you guys think of peace as balance, and that's not what it is. And a lot of times, peace in a lot of y'all's brains can actually just be avoidance. So another catch-22 about where we're actually at, because this is in the position of, like, the current energy. Some of y'all are peaceful because your flame is burning. Like, you get to be wild, free, and, like, uncoded. You're just back in your electromagnetic field. So you're not coded with the shit anymore. You're not looping code. You broke code, and now you're just in the field. Right? So now, again, you're back to the original birthright in which the creator created this concept of a magnetized reality, right? Which goes back to the laws of the universe. Now you're going to understand what it really means to motherfucking resonate, right? Like, now you're about to see, like, just like a fucking chessboard, zing, like, you and the people that you're supposed to be with. It's like, it's like not even a conversation that facilitates this. There is no, like, man chose who we came into. People understand what I'm talking about now when I say, like, Dennis and I are stuck like glue to each other. We didn't just get married because it's like, I want to spend all my time together. That would be fucking exhausting. The amount of time that I spend with Dennis is unreal. We're talking, like, poop, shit, fart, eat, sleep. Like, we do everything together. Our bowels are like we shit at the same time. We pee at the same time. We do everything at the same time together. And it has everything to do with, like, resonance. It has literally nothing to do with, like, oh my God, that's just so fun. Because, like, if you knew a Capricorn and Aquarius in real life, like, those expressions in general are, like, very sovereign. They're not, like, they don't need, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, so again, all of these things to consider. Because I got another message that was like, it's a lot of guys right now that thought they were doing something to protect peace, and that fire was just like, it's basically like what Spirit just showed me. Someone has an active fire in their house, and what they fucking did is, like, close the room door and just, like, acted like it. Oh, it's on fire. Close the door. Close the door. Baby, that fire burnt your shit to the fucking ground. Like, that's what I'm hearing. There's also people right now that where it's like, because peace can be avoidance, right? A lot of these niggas on fucking, you know, you fucking see it. It'd be like hella millennials trying to use, like, fucking, like, I don't know, they just showed me this millennial that I remember watching who was, like, talking. They were like, how to be a black auntie. And it's this, like, queer, like, gender non-conforming black person from Houston. And they were like, I stay unbothered and I don't fuck with nobody. And they've had, like, public, like, you know what I mean? That you could just, like, tell this person is the problem. But, like, I guess the content, let's just say, that they influence with was this basically talking about, like, I stay in my peace. You know what I mean? And it's, like, the same, like, fucking Ted Bundy frequencies. My mom's, like, first thing my mom's going to say is, like, I'm always at peace. Like, I'm always at peace. She's, like, Ted Bundy for real. Like, straight up. Like, straight up. Like, you know what I mean? So, again, like, I think, you know, when we talk about this sense of inner peace, you can also get inner peace by, like, tell you something about some of these fucking parents that you let fucking, like, some of the government lets these niggas walk home with babies from the hospital all the time. And some of these motherfuckers close that goddamn door, and that's how they get their peace. They don't give a fuck. Sometimes they get the fucking belt out, the fucking switch out, and beat the shit out of the kid, and that's how they keep their inner peace. That's all I'm saying is, like, there's going to be a massive addressal of that. You're either at peace because you're fire. You get to just be on fire for the first time. You're not fucking policed anymore. You're not associated with the devil contracts. You ended all the shit that you're going a completely different like a completely different path now. You're not rebuilding the same shit that puts you in a prison. You're only building liberation. You're only building sacred temples. It's a beautiful space, which outside of you, you're now seeing your growth mirrored. The things that you really like, you also really like how they've grown. You really like that they've only just gotten better as time has gone on, right? Like, for me, like, there's so many people that, like, I am so slow moving. Like, my palette, like, part of being a fucking Princess Taurus placement is that, like, you're never in a fucking rush for anything. And because you are so deeply connected to the senses of, like, life and how, like, valuable, like, the senses are, you know, I get very excited about, like, you know, new friends, new people that I really want to connect with in real time. I get very excited about that, but I'm also, like, very good at being, like, in due time. Like, you know what I mean? Not in due time, but just, like, there's all this moving at once. So it's not just one sector of my life that's popping off, but it is very beautiful, and it has been very beautiful to watch, like, you know, the people that I really resonate with, like I said, have very much, in my opinion, mirrored some of the most important things for me at this time. Again, you know, these concepts of breaking through, you know, curses. Like, the people that I'm really interested in right now, like, from them to their parents is like record scratch freeze frame. Like, it's a completely different thing. That is so cunt to me. That is so what I want right now. That's so what I want to be surrounded by, because, you know, I'm not really looking for people who have like flowers after flowers after flowers to give some other fucking motherfucker for their own personal success. Like, I'm looking at the people who are like, yeah, my success was like not given to me. It wasn't even handed to me. It's actually like a series of a lot of fucking real choices that if I didn't make that choice, I don't even know if the success would even be the same anymore. And on top of that, I had to like I've had to die a million times. I've had to keep going. I've had to like rationalize it. I've had to have success in my hands that I wasn't even conscious of. Like, I'm really into that frequency, because that's really the frequency that I was like really just like, I'm really interested right now in making friends with people that aren't actually different than me in terms of like how their life goes. I'm not talking about fucking race, skin color, gender, none of that. I don't care about whether you're married or not. I'm talking about like, are you doing the same shit that I'm doing right now in your life? Because that's all I really give a fuck about. Celebrating over, talking about, hanging out within. Because, you know, for me, like, I am like someone who's always like, oh my god, we can always throw a party. We can always like literally throw a fucking party right now, because like, that's just how much success is always happening. Like, it's like very likely that on a fucking 7 days a week, a new fucking Dolphin Boy releases out, or a new fucking, you know what I mean? So we're all